Much is said about limiting beliefs and how they influence our lives. But what is a limiting belief and how does it arise? Let's start with understanding what a belief is. Belief is the conviction that something is right and true, whether conscious or unconscious. Beliefs determine our lives, as our choices are based on what we believe. Our mind is composed of the conscious and unconscious mind, with the conscious corresponding to 15% of the mind and the unconscious 85%. Our memories and beliefs are mostly in the unconscious mind, so we often do not realize what is influencing our choices. Every belief is limiting. We need a belief system that forms a foundation of values in our lives. What we call limiting beliefs in terms of releasing or reframing are those that block, hinder, or create resistance to our fulfillment. Knowing them greatly contributes to life flowing more smoothly and easily, as well as being fundamental on the path of self-awareness and expanding consciousness. A limiting belief remains in the unconscious, influencing, at every moment, your choices to ensure the validation of this truth. For example, if there is a belief that the wealthy are selfish, the person seeks financial freedom and finds themselves in a situation of scarcity because the negative belief about wealthy people leads them away from financial prosperity, as they do not wish to become selfish. The person walks without realizing it towards scarcity, consciously choosing prosperity, but their defense mechanisms created and nurtured by limiting beliefs are stronger. We often live in pain to validate a belief that we consider very important. Imagine a person whose foundational belief is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Here one does, here one pays, or something similar, where the application of divine justice is considered. This person most likely does not believe that someone who has done wrong can be forgiven and move on without paying for what they did. Consequently, they will have difficulty forgiving and forgiving themselves. They will nurture a feeling of guilt for their choices that, in their view, cause some harm to someone, and they will create and attract experiences and people that validate this divine justice for themselves. Their unconscious mind, to ensure that their belief is true, will direct their choices towards situations of pain and suffering in order to pay for everything they have done wrong. In this case, to make a change in their life, it will be necessary to accept forgiveness, mercy, repentance, and awareness as other ways to neutralize the energy of pain they caused someone at some point, releasing the need for punishment, penance, and pain as the only path. By allowing new ways to balance experiences, both their relationship with others and their relationship with themselves will change. The period during which we create and incorporate beliefs the most is in childhood, between 0 to 12 years old. What our family members and teachers say and do, what we hear, witness, and our experiences are registered and stored, forming a personal belief system. The limiting beliefs that victimize or sabotage us the most are inserted in childhood through the education and conditioning received by all of us. Educating based on fear or threats is an unconscious way used to avoid what we suppose to be more serious situations. However, this education would be effective only for what we believe to be immediate harm. After a certain time, however, we end up feeling incapable or inadequate. Hence the importance of observing our limiting beliefs to adapt them to the current moment and what we are feeling at the moment. It's a lot of internalized information that shapes and affects thoughts, feelings, and perspective, that is, how we perceive the world. Most of the data is in the unconscious and runs like a background program, just like in a computer. In fact, all beliefs were useful at some point, some may still be, but much of it becomes obsolete and should be updated or discarded. Many beliefs are positive and empowering, leading us to choose what makes us feel good, what gives us pleasure and a sense of freedom. For example, I am worthy of life and happiness. However, many beliefs are negative and limiting, creating patterns that block the achievement of what we seek. For example, I'm not good enough. We live and perceive life based on our belief system. By understanding that many of these beliefs do not correspond to reality, we begin to perceive the truth about who we really are. By understanding how positive and negative beliefs control our lives, we can modify these patterns and begin to have more health and happiness. Listing is an excellent way to bring many beliefs that are part of your system into consciousness. Some beliefs have quick identification. Others, which are more unconscious, we do not notice right away. You can start with the beliefs listed above and add others that you can perceive. List what you heard your family members say when you were a child, what people say in the workplace, in social gatherings. Most likely you also have these beliefs. You can choose a subject or area of life and list all the viewpoints you have about it, even if it doesn't make much sense. We have many beliefs behind our judgments and viewpoints. Opening up to realize that many truths are viewpoints and are based on limiting beliefs is very liberating. List everything you say to yourself or to others when justifying something that is not working for you. Most of our justifications are based on limiting beliefs. You may be overwhelmed with financial pressures. Notice how you feel about it. Anger, anxiety, hopelessness. Pay attention to the emotion, and it will be easier to recognize the belief. How to reprogram limiting beliefs. 1. Identify the behaviors and internal dialogues that generate the thoughts behind each listed belief. Example: I need to speak very well in public, otherwise people will think I'm dumb. 2. Ask, what emotions arise when you think about speaking in public? Example: anxiety, insecurity, fear, etc. 3. Reflect on whether it is a logical belief, if there is evidence in your life that this is true. What is the basis of this idea? 4. Replace this limiting belief with an empowering one. Example: I know I am prepared to speak on the subject I propose, and it is natural not to have all the answers. 5. Challenge the empowering belief and, in this case, create an opportunity to speak in public. 6. Notice how the experience was for you after exchanging beliefs and further strengthen the new belief. 7. This way you start to reframe the beliefs that were limiting you. Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian technique and a powerful tool for purification and for releasing beliefs, memories, and programs that have generated feelings of pain and suffering that keep us in a negative tune. By practicing Ho'oponopono, you open yourself up to a new way of perceiving and creating your reality. Releasing old baggage that is no longer useful for your present moment and being more aware of how you have created your reality, you become capable of integrating and recognizing your real power, inner strength, and purpose. Release your limiting beliefs and create the life you want.